welcome to Stories, Songs, and Art with the Dallas Museum of Art. I'm so excited to have our Baby Day friends here with me today, and we're going to enjoy some artsy play right at home. My name is Leah Hansen, and I'm a museum educator at the Dallas Museum of Art, where I have taught classes for babies and toddlers for years now, and this is one of my favorite ages to work with. Today, as you watch the video, I hope that you will sing along with me, answer questions out loud, act things out, be silly, laugh at yourself, and just have a good time. We're going to begin with a welcome song, and today I have a little singing helper, this cute little penguin. Thanks for coming today, penguin. Our song sounds like London bridges, but the words are hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? And the second verse is, it's a bright and sunny day for stories, art, and play. Let's give it a try. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? It's a bright and sunny day, sunny day, sunny day. It's a bright and sunny day for stories, art, and play. Hey, I think we sounded pretty good, penguin. Today's session is all about a place that is very cold and snowy. Do you like the snow, penguin? Oh yes, penguin definitely likes the snow. How about you? Do you live in a place that is cold? Have you ever seen snow? Snow is sometimes white when it falls from the sky. It can be very soft and fluffy. And when it lands on the ground, it's a great fun thing to jump into and play with. It is very cold. Brr! And sometimes after a while, if snow has been around, it gets a little bit dirty. But today we're going to be talking about snow and icy landscapes. And I thought we could begin with a little action rhyme about snowflakes. So an easy way to make pretend snow inside is just to get some clean tissues like this. So what I love about these is that as they fall to the ground, they don't fall super fast, so it can feel a little bit like snow. And you can also crumple them up into something that feels like a snowball. And they're just fun and soft to wave around. So whatever your baby or toddler prefers, anything to just get them moving and having that experience of pretending like there is snow falling down. Okay, so follow along with me in our rhyme, and you can do this with your whole body. I'm sitting down, so I'll just do it with my arm, but your babies and you can do it with your whole body. Snowflake, snowflake, dance around. Snowflake, snowflake, touch the ground. Snowflake, snowflake, soft and white. Snowflake, snowflake, snowball fight. See, wasn't that easy? Let's try it again. I still have another tissue here. All right. Snowflake, snowflake, dance around. Snowflake, snowflake, touch the ground. Snowflake, snowflake, soft and white. Snowflake, snowflake, snowball fight. All right, now let's do a finger play about two little penguins. Two little penguins sitting on the ice. One bows once, the other bows twice. Waddle away, penguins, waddle away. Come back, penguins, it's time to play. Shall we do it again? Two little penguins sitting on the ice. One bows once, the other bows twice. Waddle away, penguins, waddle away. Come back, penguins, it's time to play. You'll notice I'm using songs and rhymes and stories to get us ready to look at art. And this is one of my favorite techniques at the Art Museum, a simple one that you can use too. It's just a simple way to get children's attention, do something that maybe is kind of fun, gets them moving or singing or using their voices, and applies to the topic that we'll be exploring. So our final rhyme is another one about penguins, and this time it's a counting rhyme. So what I've made are little penguin popsicle stick puppets. These are super easy. You can make them too at home. You could draw a penguin, you could print a penguin out from the internet, or find a picture maybe in a magazine and cut that out. I laminated mine so they would last a little bit longer, and then just hot glued them to a popsicle stick. Really easy. But it's a great way to visually tell the rhyme and help children see, as we're counting down, how our quantity gets smaller and smaller. It's a little bit tricky to hold in one hand, but I'm going to do my best. All right, here we go. 6 little penguins off an iceberg did dive. One bumped his beak, and then there were 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little penguins swam the ocean floor. One saw a whale, and then there were 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little penguins spun around. Whee! One spun right off, and then there were 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 little penguins with nothing to do. One went fishing, and then there were 2. 1, 2. 2 little penguins having lots of fun. One fell off. Oh no! And then there was 1. 1 little penguin, when the day was done, went home to sleep, and then there were none. Now let's take a look at a painting here at the museum that shows a place that I think penguins would like a lot. It's very snowy and icy and looks very cold. Take a minute to look at the work of art. Make sure your eyes go up and down and side to side. And for your child, help them direct their gaze by pointing. And let's play a seek and find. Can you find a broken ship mast? Can you find a smooth ice slide? How about an ice cave? Can you find a place that looks like still water? How about dark clouds? And can you find water that looks blue and water that looks green? This is an iconic painting here at the Dallas Museum of Art. It's in our American Art collection, and it's one of my favorites. It's a great place to imagine and pretend and to really move around. It's a large, large painting. It takes up an entire wall. So when especially babies and toddlers are looking at it, it's easy to imagine it being a place that you could jump into because it's so big. So what we're gonna do now is imagine that we are exploring this work of art as if it were a real landscape. So we're gonna pretend to jump into the painting and walk around. And I'm gonna give you some prompts for ways to move around and wiggle with your child as you're exploring the art. I'll use penguin as my example child, but you feel free to pick up your baby, your toddler, move around with them, help them wiggle and move their body, and really make this a whole body experience. All right, let's try some acting it out. So the first thing we need to do is jump into the painting. And now we're gonna go exploring. So take big, big steps. Imagine you're crunching in the snow and you can feel that soft snow underneath your feet. Oh, and does anyone want to try swimming? Let's dive in. You can swoop your baby down and swim, swim, swim in that cold, cold water. Oh, you better jump out because it is so, so cold. How about we try sliding down the ice slide? So it's in the back of the painting and you're going to whoosh your baby down. This will be a good arm workout for you. Whoosh them down again. Whoosh down the slide. And one more time. Whoosh down the slide. Now give your arms a little bit of break and let's go explore that ice cave. So wrap your baby up in your arms, give them in a cozy, cozy cave, and imagine as we kind of swim underneath that we can feel that ice right above us and right next to us. Now we can walk over to the ship mast, and maybe you want to jump onto the wood and try to walk along it almost like a balance beam, like that. And then we'll jump off and we'll just slide around on the ice again. Sliding, sliding, sliding. You can see I'm not doing anything special. I'm just looking at what is there in the painting, imagining that I'm actually in the place and helping my baby's body do what we might be doing as we're in that place, whether it's sliding or swimming or crunching footsteps, anything to help them move around. This is a great way to engage your babies and toddlers with a new picture. So first, take a moment to look at what you see and point out familiar objects, things like animals, faces, colors, toys, plants, anything that might be familiar to them in their world. Then think of fun ways for them to move their body around in connection with what they see. So you can spin around, you can stretch up, you can crouch down, you can wave your arms, anything that is going to help them have a physical experience connecting to what they can see with their eyes. Now this painting is called Icebergs, and it was painted by Frederick Edwin Church in 1861. A few years before that, he chartered a schooner to go exploring up in the very northern part of Canada, near Newfoundland and St. John. And he did a lot of sketching and capturing what he saw, and then went back to his studio where he began painting. When he finished it in 1861, he put it on view in New York City, and visitors could pay 25 cents to see the picture. And it really was like a way for them to see his vision of a distant place, a place that maybe they had never seen before. Unfortunately, he did not find anybody who was willing to pay for it here in the United States because we were in the middle of the Civil War. So he sent it over to England, where he was able to sell it there. And before he sent it over, he actually added in that broken ship mast that's down at the bottom of the painting. Originally, that was not there, but he added it in honor of an English explorer who had gone down with his ships searching for the Northwest Passage. And I really think that that broken ship mast adds a lot to the painting. It definitely gives perspective, because when you think of how huge that ship mast must have been on the ship, you get a sense of how vast this icy landscape really is. Now that we've had a chance to explore a picture of an icy place, let's try doing some icy art of our own, and we're going to try painting with ice. All right, let's make some art. So ice painting is a really fun, sensory-rich way for children to play and to also experience that idea of hot and cold. And it uses things that I am pretty sure everyone will have at home. So you'll need an ice tray. I think any kind of ice tray will work. Basically, we're trying to freeze our paint so that kids can then paint with it. So an ice tray, I have a pitcher of water. You can just fill yours up at the sink. And then you'll need something like popsicle sticks to put into the ice tray so that there's a handle for the children to hold on to, and then some food coloring. You could also use liquid watercolor if you have that at home. Either one will work. So this does take a little bit of prep since we have to wait for the water to freeze, so you won't be able to do it right away. But once you have it all ready and set to go, it's something that can last you a couple days. So you're gonna fill up that ice tray with water. And I try to make mine not too full, just because we're gonna be painting with them. And if one little container is too full, sometimes the water spills over into the next, and so that would mix your colors, which also is not a problem, but just something to be aware of. So once you have, oh, I missed one right here. Once you have them all filled up pretty good, you're going to just add some drops of food coloring to each little well. Oh, and like you can see on this one right here for me, the ice tray is made in such a way that one little piece of ice just spills right over into the next. So I'll have two of that same color. And just a couple drops should be fine. And if you need to go back and add in a little bit more water to some of them, you can always do that. The more food coloring you add, the more intense your color will be. Okay, so once you have your tray filled up with your colorful water, now you're going to just put a popsicle stick into each well. You can also use the popsicle stick to stir the water around a little bit, mix up that color. All right, and once you have the popsicle sticks in, I'll try to hold mine up so you can sort of see it. You'll very carefully put this in the freezer and leave it overnight to freeze. Now I made another set of ice watercolors yesterday, so I have some that are ready to go. Let me just show you what they look like. They're so fun and colorful. And I would just take them out of the freezer maybe a couple minutes before you actually want to start the project so that you can sort of, you know, loosen them up a little bit and they start to get a little bit soft so that they will release their color. And then you're just going to give your child some paper. I'm using a heavier weight paper, a watercolor paper, or maybe something like cardstock. Since we're working with water, that will just make it so that it absorbs the water a little bit better. And if you don't want to work on paper, this is going to be fun for your kids. They could use it in the bathtub. You could just stick them in the bathtub and have them paint on the bathtub. They could do it on their high chair tray. It's really, again, about the process and not so much about the product, so that they can see what happens when they move their arm around with the color. I'm going to try it on some paper here. So you're just going to simply take it out of the ice tray, and because you have a handle now, you can easily just run it over your paper. Now, mine is still a little bit too hard. It hasn't melted enough, so you can really barely see any color coming off. So just know that that'll happen. But as it warms up and starts to melt a little bit, oh, now I'm getting some. Just even that friction of moving across the paper is starting to move some of the color on there. You can just barely see it, but it is there. And just let your child explore with all the different colors. This is a great way to do some color mixing as they color on top. And if you're using food coloring, this will be perfectly safe if they happen to stick it in their mouth. It won't taste like anything, so it won't be a popsicle, but it's totally safe if they do stick it in their mouth. Because food coloring sometimes can stain, I would go ahead and have your child put on a smock or an old shirt as they're painting so that you don't worry about their clothes. I'll try yellow here. Another thing I think is fun about this process is that this movement, this idea of gliding actually the ice across the paper, just makes me think back to the painting we looked at and when we were pretending to glide across the ice. And that's it. There's my masterpiece. I hope your children have a great time trying this out too. And I would love to see photos if you happen to take any of what they do. You can send those to us at familyprograms@dma.org. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Baby Day session. And I hope that anytime you're in Dallas, that you'll stop by the Dallas Museum of Art and visit us. Come see this beautiful painting in person and give art a try. To find out more about what we offer for kids of all ages, please visit www.dma.org. Thanks and bye-bye.